Oh my goddess, white people, leave black people alone about this plantation burning to the ground. Leave them alone. You don't get to tell them how to feel about it. You don't get to tell them how to react about it. Stop making videos about how sad it was that it burned down and leave black people alone. Leave them alone. They have every right to feel their very valid feelings about this plantation burning down. Stop. You know what? Take this opportunity to learn something. Shut your mouth, open your ears, and listen to the videos and learn something. Practice a little empathy. God, white people are not okay. We are not okay.
Man, I tell you what, nothing makes racist white people more pissed off than me, a white person, trying to educate about racism and trying to educate about what white privilege is and all these things. And it's so funny because these same people will argue with me till they are blue in the face about how they're not racist and we don't live in a racist institution and black and brown people have it so easy and racism doesn't exist anymore. But then they will turn around and say the most racist, ignorant, vile shit you've ever heard in your life.
Racism devastates people from the global majority the most, obviously. Let's be really clear about that. But whiteness carries a cost for white people too. And I wish white people could get that into their heads. It shows up in how isolated we often are. In regions like the Northeast and Wales, over 90% of people are white British, and a third of white Britons say they have no friends from a global majority background. I mean, think about what that means. We are cut off from whole worlds of perspective, from different ways of thinking, problem solving, creativity, ideas, joy, humor, you name it. Instead of gaining resilience through difference, we stay small and we stay shallow and we cling to sameness, and I guess we call that normal. Whiteness looks like power, but it's really a cage. It cuts us off from the richness of life itself. Racism dehumanizes people of color, but it also diminishes white people. And anti-racism isn't charity work, remember. It's how we open the door to fuller humanity, connection, and possibility. I mean, it would be great if we did this out of the goodness of our hearts and for the sake of justice. But if that feels like too much to ask, do it for selfish reasons. Do it because your life will be richer, deeper, funnier, and better if you do.
The disconnect is amazing. And this is why I make content like this, because it's so important. Because we do live in a racist institution, and we are all raised in racism as white people. This is simply a fact. And the crazy part about it is every one of us knows this. Even the ones who will sit there and fight with me to the death about it and act like it doesn't exist. Y'all know white people are racist. Y'all know about the casual racism, the casual microaggressions that we are raised in, no matter where we live in this United States of America. And this is why I will never stop. I will never stop trying to educate as a white person about racism and how we need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to do better. It's almost as if they feel like admitting to a racist institution or admitting to racism makes them this evil, terrible person. And so they would rather double down than to grow and be a good person. And that's so bad, because all that says to me is that you have a small mind and a cowardly soul. And I wish better for you than that, truly, because everything in your life will get better when you stop being so ignorant.
So I mentioned how I don't ever want to live around a bunch of white liberals again. And I spent most of my life living in Santa Cruz, California, where there is a lot of white liberals. And I have to tell you, those are some of the most racist people in America. White liberals have tried to silence my voice, have tried to get me fired. White liberals have called me racial slurs multiple times. White liberals think black people are a monolith and are only allowed to act a certain way, vote a certain way. White liberals are working to lower the educational standards for black and brown kids, which is hurting them. White liberals want to have a permanent brown underclass to do all of their hard work, all the jobs they don't want to do. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I never want to live in a majority white liberal area again. And don't even get me started on COVID.
Hey, what's up, beautiful people? How you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. It's a good day, and God has granted unto us this beautiful day so that we can have these important discussions that we might need to have. First of all, I would like to thank Black people for being resilient, for staying resilient all through these chaotic things that are going on right now in the United States. One thing that I understand is that in such kind of situation, the way Black people are maintaining their calmness, the way Black people are maintaining their resilience still baffles my mind. Right. I understand that people expect like Black people to come out and complain about all these crazy stuff that are going on. Per se, look at Nebraska farmers, look at Texas farmers, look at all these rural cities that are practicing farming in general. Look at Black farmers out there complaining to the extent that some of them are feeling like, why is it going on good for Black farmers and it's not going good for, Black farmers? What is it that they are doing that we as white farmers we're not doing? And so they're asking themselves this question. It is because Black people have mastered the art of staying resilient, right? The art of staying resilient. In as much as they know that things are tough, in as much as they know that the system has not always been on the side of a Black person, be it a farmer, be it a doctor, as long as you're a Black person in the United States, somewhere, somehow, you have faced discrimination. It could be in wealth distribution, especially for Black farmers. Black people have been dealing with redlining. Look at history. Black people have been doing with it's called predatory landing. It's called all these crazy stuff that Black people went through. Remember, white farmers decided to keep quiet when things are not going right for Black farmers. But right now it is diabolical that they want Black people to speak for them. They want Black people to stand in solidarity with them. But that can't happen because there is nothing that they contributed when Black farmers needed them. Well, in fact, they kept quiet. They stayed with their families. Worst of all that could happen is that they saw Black farmers as competitors without thinking or without knowing that they are going according to the playbook of the oppressor. When you look at the Bacchus Rebellion, all these elite leaders who are afraid that if Black people and white people come together, what's going to happen? They're going to see the problems that are going through and they're going to find solutions. And that's where they also used and divided Black farmers from white farmers, because there could be no collective voice. And right now, white people want the collective voice. So please, as you watch this video, I want you to think about that factor that I've just told you, because all these people have ever done is go according to the playbook of divide and conquer, right? So let's watch the video. I'll be back, and this is just a simple request. For those who are watching me for the first time, I'm just asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. And for those who are always supporting me through super thanks, through Cash App, through any form of support, man, by subscribing, liking, sharing my video, man, I'm really grateful for the support that you're giving me. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back, and then I'll be sharing my thoughts at the end of it all. So let's watch.
I might lose my farm because of the government.
Own the libs! Own the libs! There's so much owning of the libs going on right here.
Our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act.
And who signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law? Was it Joe Biden? Sir, that is socialism. And you are benefiting off of it. Did you post this a few months ago in October?
I'll tell you what I love. I love cows. But if we go with Kamala, you won't have any cows anymore because you're not.
A few moments later.
Our farm payment money, if we don't have that money, we will lose this farm. And the only way that I can think to get around it is we sell some cows. I'm done. I need your help to save my farm and many other farms.
Sir, we already tried to help you save your farm. The saving of the farms happened a few months ago on November 5th. Us on the left, or what is it that you call us, libtards? Us libtards showed up on November 5th and voted so that you could keep benefiting off the Inflation Reduction Act that would have saved your farm. You, Kyle, also showed up on November 5th and voted to preserve something that wasn't your farm. What did you vote to preserve, Kyle? You voted to preserve your white tea supremacy instead of saving your farm. Are you feeling superior right now, Kyle? I want you to get exactly what you voted for, Kyle, and I want you to feel the powerful consequences of your vote.
The fact that the left would protest the ending of crime tells me that their freaking evil is like endless. It's never ending. And you'll tell you why? I'll tell you why, because I read their stupid book. The plan is to take over the institution, right? And if they can't take over the institution, the next best thing, if not equally the same, is to destroy the institution. Why? Because they're stupid. They think people are going to go, Donald Trump said he was going to lower the price of eggs. Oh my God, the price of eggs isn't lowered. That means that we have to vote for Kamala Harris. And what she's going to do is she's going to have two gay dudes suck each other's cocks in front of their egg aisle, while the egg aisle being non-existent because it's a communist grocery store. That's what they expect. They really think that we're that stupid. Seriously. Because I read their book. And the reason why they think that we're that stupid is because their followers are that stupid. They call their followers useful idiots to their face, and they continue to vote for them because they're stupid, right? But they think we're that stupid. They think we're that stupid. They think, oh, the eggs, it's the same price. We're going to vote for the communists now. What the fuck are you going to do about the eggs, jackass? Nothing. Nothing. Because they're stupid like that. And that's why communism will never work. Because at some point in the chain, yes, they could have smart people that could infiltrate shit. But at some point in the chain, they're going to flop because they're dumb.
I just want you all to know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for giving him those chances. I'm sorry. I see things now. I see them clearly. And I think I saw them way too late.
Hey, Auntie Bev here. The woman you just saw in the video clip is identified as Susan Howard. She has a TikTok video, which is about 2 minutes long, and she explains how she feels she was betrayed by the president, and she wants people to show her grace for her error in judgment. Well, the vocabulary word I have for that is delude. It's a verb, and it means to deceive, to trick, to fool, to manipulate someone's judgment. Using it in a sentence, I would say, Susan Howard says the president was able to delude her into believing he was going to do what was best for the country, and that's why she continued to vote for him. And I'm saying Susan Howard was delusional. That's an adjective, and it means faulty judgment. Delude, delusional. Add those two words to your vocabulary bank and make it your time, your shine. Auntie Bev speaks.
So right now, the convicted felons' attorneys are arguing that birthright citizenship should be overturned. A constitutional right. Let that sink in. I was on a live last night, and we were talking about what's going on and what the solution is. And I said, it doesn't matter if a Republican or a Democrat is in the White House. Until we address the white patriarchy in this country, we will never progress as a society. And what do I turn on the news this morning? The convicted felon is arguing that birthright citizenship should be overturned. Friends, this is about one thing. It is about one thing only. It's not tariffs. It's not making your life better. It's not improving your life. It's not about helping you. It is about making this America white again. Stop being fooled by the okie doke, by the parlor tricks, the snake oil salesmen. This plantation owner wants one thing: white America. You demonize immigrants. They're grabbing people off the streets and leaving their children with nowhere to go. There was a 3-year-old that just had their parents snatched off the street, and a stranger had to bring that child home. Yeah, it's so pro-life. Abrego Garcia had no due process. Sent to El Salvador. People being put in Guantanamo Bay. He put a Muslim ban on there. Questioned the birth of Barack Obama. Very fine people on both sides. Has dinner with Nick Fuentes, a white nationalist. Didn't rent to black people. The Central Park Five. And on and on and on. That's what this is. Make America white again. Pull your heads out of the sand, people. Signing petitions, organizing, that's all great. Getting into groups, talking about it, going to daily protests, that's wonderful. I love it. That's not going to stop what's happening. It's not. You need to shut the damn country down. Period. End of story. I don't want to hear what we can't do. I can't afford to. We can't do this. What about this? We need to organize. Great, then organize. Sign the petition. 2025strike.com. That's it. Organize. You get 3.5% of the population and you stop working and you shut this damn country down, because that's the only way this is going to stop. This plantation owner is going to do lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. What's to stop him from suing you, a private citizen? Because that's the end game here when it comes to lawsuits, right? You can't afford it.
So I was on YouTube and I came across this video claiming that white farmers are outraged that black people do not want to work on their farms. And I thought it was fake because I was like, this has to be like clickbait or whatever. So I searched and I came across Facebook, and y'all, the comments were wild. I still wasn't sure if it was real. So I tried to go to the staffing agency's website, and y'all, apparently so many people went to their website that the website crashed. So I figured, okay, maybe this is actually real. So they're basically offering $11 an hour to pick blueberries, 9 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, from May to July in Louisiana heat. Now, I never heard of Ranger, so I decided to look it up real quick. So here's some info. And just so you know, my source is this website called places.us.com. So anyway, livability is a C-. Population is less than 6,000. Demographics is almost 91% white, followed by black, then Hispanic, then Indian, then Asian, and pretty much 0 Hawaiian. I saw that they voted Republican in 2020, but it probably doesn't take a genius to guess how they voted in 2024. So that's just to give you a little info about the town. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So $11 an hour is what they're offering. Full-time, 7 days a week, 9 to 10 hours a day. Now, according to salary.com, Louisiana's minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So this is a bump. But let's be real. Now, for some people, they might say, oh, it's a job. Go work it. It's a job. But it's not a job, you know. It's more like a sentence. And then when you look at who they expect to take these jobs, you don't have to guess. It's a page straight out of history. Black folks, migrant workers, you know, the ones who are currently facing deportation right now. Vulnerable communities getting used for back-breaking labor for pennies. But people are saying this is what they voted for. So what do you think? Is it FAO season or what?
A viral video of a white woman talking about black fatigue and how we don't need to give the Black community reparations because we weren't around during slavery and neither were they. There were thousands of comments. This was going viral so quickly. Fully expecting to see people fighting her in the comment section. No, thousands of comments of white people, mostly. There was one Native American that was like, as a Native, thank you for saying this. I was like, what? There were so many white people in the comments saying, we're sick of this. Did they think that we were going to be silent for this long? You guys, those are war cries, if I've ever heard them. Thousands of white people in a comment section saying, did they really think we're going to be silent for this long? That's not good. And then I looked back. I saved the video. Literally, this was like 20 minutes ago. I saved the video and then I was going to reference it in this one, but it either has been taken down or she took it down herself. She deleted it. But I know that you guys have probably seen it because it had 500,000 views by the time that it was taken down. The problem is there were so many people in the comment section bold enough to say things like this. Let me say it to all the red hats out there and speak in your language. No one cares about your feelings. We need to talk about facts. And if you don't like the facts, you can go cry about it. Here are the facts. There's a thing called epigenetics. Whatever happens to your ancestors affects your mentality, your emotions, and your physical body for generations after generations after generations. It makes you ill. It makes you suffer emotional triggers that you wouldn't normally have if your ancestors did not go through those things. That is science. Now let's talk about history. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Does that ring a bell? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you don't know what happened there and you're a red hat, let me tell you a little history lesson. The Black community was crawling out of the shithole that we left them in. And they created amazing communities where everybody was working together and they had fabulous education and people had money. The United States government bombed their communities, literal bombs dropped. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That wasn't even reparations. They were doing this themselves, cultivating this themselves, trying to bring themselves up. Any community that was systematically used and abused by the rest of society needs reparations. That includes Native, don't even get me started on Native Americans. I have a whole thing that I think they deserve, which some of y'all might even think I'm crazy, but this is about the Black community right now. Yes, they deserve reparations. They get the short end of the stick almost every single time. This is not just a white, blue-haired woman talking about this. These are facts. And again, facts over feelings, right? Facts over feelings. Even though I don't think this way, nobody that I know thinks this way. You guys have made it very clear in the comment section that a lot of you do.
Them farmers really thought we was going back to them fields. They really thought we was going back to them fields. You know what? My mother was the first generation on her mother's side not to be brought up on a plantation. Not to be brought up on a plantation. That's what I said. My grandfather had a 3rd grade education, but he left my mama 2 houses, property in the bank, property and money in the bank, with a 3rd grade education. And guess what? He worked in fields. My great grandmother worked in fields and cut that cane just like a man. You hear me? And if you think that Eddie Lewis and Victoria C. Jones and all the rest of my ancestors bust their tail in them fields for us to go back to the fields, absolutely not. That's not progress. We're trying to heal from ancestral trauma. We're trying to heal from that. That ain't happening. That produce could rot in them fields before we go back to them fields. They need to let them know that.
Slavery wasn't that bad. Trump is absolutely right. He didn't say slavery wasn't bad. He said it wasn't that bad.
They ate people. They ate people thinking that they were gang superpowers. They fed children to alligators for sport. They raped other men's wives for punishment. They raped men for punishment and sodomized. They skinned people. They skinned people. Turned them into shoes, bags, wallets, and furniture. They operated on people without anesthesia just to see their reaction and built the entire medical practice off the bodies of black people.
Your life couldn't even end in peace because they stole black deceased bodies. And so many people didn't care that it didn't even matter. Children attended lynchings and they cut off body parts for souvenirs afterwards, made postcards of hanging bodies, used the bodies as decorations. And after all that torture, they took the time to say, hey, you know what? Let's create a system that they can never systematically get out of. Now, as a paper towel American, I don't expect you to know Black history, but you gotta be smoking sheetrock if you could say it's not that bad.
Hold on, so let me get this straight. The white farmers in Louisiana, they're mad because people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. Let me run that back. White farmers are mad. The very farmers that voted Republican, okay, they voted for this, are mad that people of color won't come work on their farms for $11 an hour in 100-degree heat for 10 plus hours a day. I'm saying you get what you ask for. Hey, it's FAFO type shit, okay? But hey, don't be fooled. I feel like it's gonna come to a point where they're finna make people get on their farms. Don't count me to it. Because if 2025 was a checklist, hey.
History repeats itself. And I feel like it's time that Black people understand that it's important to safeguard your energy. It's important not to let people provoke you, because all we are seeing is people are trying to project towards Black people. Why are you silent? Why aren't you fighting for us? Right? So this is the thing. I'm not gonna argue with Mr. Donald Trump, but still, there's a problem with the white farmers. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so because these people knew the struggles even way before. They knew the struggles that Black people were going through, but they still chose to remain silent. They remained silent because it wasn't affecting them. When you look at the history of Black farmers and all the predicament that they went through, first you try to understand that they were never getting loans, and these loans could help them expand on their productivity. These loans could help them, one, buy fertilizers that they could use to improve their farming output. Two, they couldn't employ people to work on the farms because they didn't have that, that capital. While on the contrary, white people get support from the government, and they add fertilizers. They also had to secure large tracts of land. And this is where the catch is. Black farmers were thriving so much well. You need to understand this part of history. But they saw to it that these people are like our competitors. And now what did they do? They tried to find a way of making the market so monopolistic for them by first banning the farms that belong to Black people. Two, they chased away Black people from their lands and took those large tracts of lands. Three, any Black city-state that was trying to thrive during that time was either banned, was either drowned by lake, for example, Lake Lanier. All these things happened in history. And the worst of all that they did is that in as much as they know that they can do something about it, seeing the government trying to do this to the Black community, instead of standing in solidarity, they decided to remain silent. Remaining silent in a situation of injustice is a complacent injustice. And that's what they did. So they played the part of the elites. They played the part of what elites want. Right? And so this is how it affected them. And you need to understand this part of history, that if only white folks stood with Black people during that time when they needed them so much, I think things could have been easier. I think right now, the collective voice that they're looking for towards black people, they could have gotten them. But this is not this is not reciprocal. How will you go fight for a person who never fought for you? Like, it doesn't make sense. It has to make sense that you fought for me and I'll fight for you because I'm seeing you like my brother. You are seeing me like your brother. Why would I see you like a brother while you're not seeing me the same way? And that's why I started by saying people need, especially the black community, people need to find a way of safeguarding their energy, because people are going to mess out there and they'll come to you to fix their mess. And now they want black people, they want black farmers to come fix their mess. Why is in which these folks want black people to come and fix their mess? First, they want black people to work on their farms, getting poor pay. If they don't, they are gonna starting to destroy their names by saying that black people are lazy and black people don't want to work on their farms because black people are lazy. I'd say that they are the ones who are lazy. Till your land, go pick those cottons, go plant those berries, go do this, go do that on the farm. Why would you want to employ someone while people in their community can't do that? That's just a question. So black people are not lazy. This is just something that they're trying to put on them so that they might look like they're lazy, because black people don't want to fix the messes that they made, and they want black people to come and fix their messes. And that's what black people are not going to be doing. And when they hear this, or when they see this happening, it really pisses them off. It really pisses them off. And I'm not afraid to say that I'm really glad that my brothers and sisters in the United States, people who look like me in the United States, are taking those stances and making them bold moves. And this is running them nuts, because they cannot afford to leave black folks off their mouth, because they want them. They want their energy. They want black people to come work for them. But black people cannot come work for them. The United States it's creating employment crisis. Do you know why it's creating employment crisis? So that you can go and work on the farms. It's simple. Create an employment, let people be desperate, let them go work on the farms. But black people are standing on their grounds. They are not shaking. They're not letting the guard down. And they're saying that however much it is bad, this is what we are dealing with, and this is how we are going to deal with it. And that makes me so proud of my brothers and sisters in the United States. And so let's have this conversation. I really want to know the level of hypocrisy, because it is only right to you to call for a black person to help you air your voice while you are benefiting from all these projects that was undermining black people. You kept quiet. Because of greed, you went ahead and employed people who were undocumented. And again, you used them, abused them, put them in conditions that it's unappreciable, because you know they have nowhere to go and report because they are undocumented. At the end of the day, they can't go and report because you know damn well that they'll be asked, where are your documents? Where is, what shows you that you are legal to work in this country, right? And you use that to your advantage. And right now it's coming back to you. One thing that people need to know is that black farmers learned to focus on themselves, and they formed their own communities within the black community and found ways of adjusting with all these changes, because they saw the United States of what it is, and that's how they saw it, and that's how they are taking it. And so it's imperative for you to understand how all of these things operate. I feel like it's just important like that. So please, let me know what you think about this video. As you know, I'm your host and presenting Generic Stories, but until then, let me see you on my next video. I'm just gonna be asking, for those who are watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join my membership, and really get so I can offer you. For those who are always coming back and supporting me and my channel, man, I'm really grateful. And for those who are sending me super thanks, super chat, man, I'm really grateful for the support. So let me know down in the comment section what you feel about this. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.